Hello and welcome back to BS Rugby. And there we go then. The All Blacks have beaten Wales once again. The search for that victory over the All Blacks continues for us here in Wales as the All Blacks beat us by 54 points to 16 down at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Here is my match reaction to the game and my review. This is just a quick short one for you today. As always, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button down below. It's free to do, helps grow the channel. Leave a like on the video and get your thoughts in the comments down below. As it was a big game, of course, we did a watch along for this one. Don't forget then, next week we'll do one for Wales against South Africa, and potentially we'll chuck one in on the Sunday for Scotland against Australia. Let's go through the game then. How did it go? Well, I actually thought Wales started pretty well with good possession, but it did go down from there. Beauden Barrett crossing on an intercept try. He was exceptional all day. Absolutely brilliant. In the 3rd minute, he crossed over to give the All Blacks a lead. And I spoke prior to the game and during the watch along said the first 20 minutes is so important that we get that right and that we are in the game, that we are putting pressure on the All Blacks. And that little moment there was a big frustration. But Anscombe would have had a penalty back for Wales. But then there was an injury concern for us. I mean, Alan Wynne-Jones went off with what looks like a dislocated shoulder, potentially something to do with his wrist. And it's a huge frustration. And if I'm totally honest, I'd be very surprised if we were to see him again this autumn. We won't go through all the tries, but New Zealand did score quite a few tries throughout the afternoon, 7 tries in total. Both teams there were taking over penalties apiece. Before then, TJ Paranara would cross for New Zealand and spark wild celebrations for them, as that really helped them just to get a little bit more breathing space for them before half time. But I felt we played quite well in that first half. And I actually thought that in the phases, we were keeping the ball well. We were playing some good rugby. We're throwing the ball about. There were some nice passing lanes. There were some nice runs happening. But we never looked to be clinical. We never looked like we were going to score tries today. And that's the big difference through us and the All Blacks, is that the All Blacks are so comfortable in possession. And when they get into the 22 and they get a sniff of an opportunity, they certainly take them. We saw that in the second half, what they did. Now, there are a few big calls in this game that we have to talk about. First of all, we've got to talk about Beauden Barrett. Although he was exceptional and he got that try, yes, he did, he was a lucky man to stay on the field. He went for an intercept. He really wasn't going to catch it. And he completely knocked it forward. In my eyes, and in most of the rugby world eyes, it was certainly a deliberate knock-on, which would then mean a yellow card. But the referee deemed it not to be, deemed that there was enough cover there, but that shouldn't even matter in the situation. It should be, is it a deliberate knock-on or not? And it should have been a yellow. I have no idea why the ref hasn't gone to yellow, and I'm not saying we'd have won the game if that had been a yellow card, but it would have made a difference for Wales in those early stages to really settle more into the game. The second big decision then, once again from the referee, was to only give a yellow card to Nepo Laulala on a tackle on Ross Moriarty. We actually saw him leave the field. He looked pretty shaky as well. It's a tough one, that one. I mean, part of me wants to say it's a red, but part of me understands the mitigating factors with him dipping down. It's a tough one to take, but I hate blaming referees, and that's certainly not what I'm doing. But a lot of decisions went against Wales today. I felt a lot of decisions at the scrum, and we haven't even gone on to the line out yet, but the scrum really struggled today. So at half-time, it was pretty close at half-time, actually. It was, in fact, 21 points to 9. It was 18 points to 6 in favour of the All Blacks at half-time as Anscombe notched over a penalty just as the clock had turned red. But it'd get from bad to worse for Wales as Geordie Barrett ran over. He got his try and converted his own try as well. Great try from him, and he was exceptional all afternoon. And the All Blacks just really, from then on, began to turn their style on, began to go through the phases, through the simple rugby that they were playing, but it looked exceptional at points. It was art in a way, watching them play. Geordie Barrett, as I said, would convert his try, and then the pick of the bunch, I'm sure, has got to be this man's try. Will Jordan receives the ball just outside his own 22, notices the space in behind, chips it over and collects the ball, and he runs in to score and collect his own ball, and scores fantastically well. And at that point, that really was the try to kill the game off. Wales did get a try of their own through Johnny Williams. It was a lovely work from Priestland with a little kick in behind. And I've got to say, Priestland came on and made a really big difference to this game. I don't think Anscombe had his greatest game that I've seen him play. I thought Priestland really sped the game up, took the intensity. Maybe it's a little bit easier to come off the bench because you've seen how the game's developed, you see the spaces, but I thought he was fantastic when he came off the bench. Another player who certainly deserves a mention is this man, Tame Basham. I thought he was fantastic all afternoon long. I thought he carried well. He looked very comfortable with ball in hand and in the loose and stepping plays. And at the breakdown, he was a real mischief in trying to slow that All Blacks ball down, which we just simply couldn't do enough of. It was an interesting day. How would I summarise this one? The All Blacks are just that good. I think that's the way you have to look at it. They were so clinical today. And what really impressed me, and has impressed me over the course of the Rugby Championship, is their ability to just keep the ball moving, is the ability that even when they get tackled, they find a way to get the offload. The ball is back quick at the breakdown. They play heads-up rugby. There's an understanding that if you notice the space, you go for it. You don't worry about the structure of it, but there is structure in their freedom as well, and it just seems to work so well. And after so many questions were asked of Ian Foster over the last year and a half, I think he's really beginning to answer those, and we're seeing some quality, real quality, I mean outstanding quality being played by the All Blacks. For me, they're the best team in the world, and I'd be surprised if anyone can beat them this autumn. For Wales, we've got to talk about the line-out. It was absolutely shambolic today, and that was a big issue in the Six Nations and in last autumn. Obviously, Ken Owens didn't play in this game. He was expected to. Last-minute change that was. I don't know if that's Ryan Elias's fault. I don't know if that's the calls. I don't know if that's the jumpers. I don't know what it is. But I think we won 2 out of about 7 line-outs today, which at this level is just nowhere near good enough. You've got to be winning your ball, and especially against the All Blacks. If you want to be creating opportunities, you've got to be keeping the ball as much as you can, and you've got to be comfortable with your possession and winning the ball at your set pieces. The scrum struggled as well. But the positives, I thought we kept the ball pretty well in some areas of the game. We threw the ball about quite nicely, but this is the level. If we want to really be competitive in the World Cup in 2 years' time, this is the level we have to be at. But we've got to remember this All Blacks team has been together since mid-summer, and most of these boys haven't all played together since March. So that is something to certainly be considerate of. And we had a few players missing as well, obviously through playing in England. So they were unavailable for this one. But a lot of things to work on for sure against South Africa. I think I'm really trying to work out what Pivac's style is. I'm really trying to work out what he's trying to do. If I'm being totally honest, I'm certainly not Pivac out. Anyone who says that is being ridiculous right now. But I'm trying to work out what he's really trying to achieve with this team. What's the game plan, really? I was struggling to see that. But against the All Blacks, it's really tough to see that. Now, we have South Africa next weekend, which is once again going to be a really tough test while the All Blacks face the Italians, which will be a different story for them. But there will need to be changes. But I think some players certainly put their hands up, the likes of Tame Basham and Rhys Priestland, with Bigger leaving the field today for Northampton injured. It'll be interesting to see if he's fit for that and whether Priestland gets the nod. But overall, New Zealand were just far too good. The best team in the world, played some incredible rugby, absolutely incredible. And at points, all I could do was just applaud. I couldn't even get angry at it. And the All Blacks just seemed fitter. Match fitness just looked much better from them. They were so clinical. They just took their opportunities. And if it wasn't for Geordie Barrett's missed conversion at the end, they would have got their record points against Wales in this one. But they didn't. So that is a positive. But there we go. That's my match reaction and quick review to this game. Massive congratulations to the All Blacks. They were insane today. Things to work on for Wales, but certainly some positives to take as we head into next weekend's game. Now, if you want to see a more in-depth reaction and a tactical view on the game, myself and Ben from Rock and Roll Rugby are going to be doing a reaction on his channel tomorrow night. I'll leave a link to his channel down below down there, so do check it out. Subscribe to his channel. We're also going to take a look at that Scotland-Tonga game as well. But I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this game. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Lots of videos coming out over the next week ahead of next week's fixtures in the Autumn Nation series. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Saturday evening, and peace.